Emily seeing a bunch of mermaids lounging on a rock. Gay. Hello and welcome to a very, very late review of the season 3 finale of Dickinson, also known as the last episode of Dickinson we will ever get, and honestly, I'm a little bit sad about it. So I've seen pretty mixed responses to the finale, but I personally think that this last episode wrapped things up in the best possible way. I think it was right to centre the episode on who Emily was outside of her relationships, especially since the whole of season 3 has been heavily centred on Emily's relationships to other people, and she shouldn't be defined by that. Dickinson is supposed to be about Emily Dickinson, you know, her life, her love, her work and her journey, and I think the finale expressed that as well as it could. I know some people felt like the finale was lacking in some ways, perhaps because there wasn't any high drama, any romance, or high emotion, but I think the reflective tone was a more suitable way to end this show, considering how Emily Dickinson in herself was quite a reflective person. Elena made some interesting creative choices in the finale with trying to convey the way that Emily Dickinson created within the backdrop of the Civil War, and how it intertwined with her work. Honestly, I've been pretty impressed with Elena and the third season of Dickinson. Like I've said before, she's really taken on board what went wrong in season 2 and taken steps to fix these issues in season 3, which completely restored my faith in the show. Now, if I review the whole of Dickinson through a more objective and critical lens, the show did feel very experimental, it certainly had problems with continuity, and it leans into a very kind of fresh out of drama school vibe at times. So the show isn't perfect, and it would have benefited from a more linear and focused approach. I think the shorter episodes probably contributed to how disjointed it was. But then again, that looseness and quirkiness was also part of its charm. Period pieces are usually anchored to a much more somber and serious tone, and Dickinson breaks away from this, offering something new and vibrant. This is not only refreshing, but it also makes it accessible to different types of people, especially people who may not have taken an interest in Emily Dickinson otherwise. Looking back at all 3 seasons of Dickinson, I think the first is objectively the strongest, and subjectively, probably my favourite. It was just a perfect balance of light-hearted comedy and heartfelt depth, which introduced viewers to a fresh perspective of Emily Dickinson in the backdrop of the 19th century. Season 1 also captured the complexity and depth of Emily's relationship with Sue, and it did so explicitly. Season 1 never shied away from the true nature of their relationship, and any flaws or shortcomings in Season 1 were far outweighed by the positive aspects it had to offer. Season 2 definitely lost its sense of direction and lacked everything that made Season 1 so good. It wasn't just the lack of Emily and Sue, but the lack of Emily herself that ruined Season 2. It was very male-centric and dedicated far too much screen time to heteronormative mini-dramas, which Emily was also dragged into, making her relationship with Sue even more vague. That said, Season 2 does have some redeeming moments, particularly those rare moments where we get to see Emily and Sue interact with each other, especially in the season 2 finale. But that wasn't enough to carry the entire season or undo all the other damage. And as I said, season 3 definitely took steps to fix the damage that had been done with season 2, and Elena deserves to be applauded for that. There was no more pushing of heteronormative narratives, the issue of lesbian erasure was addressed, and Emily was front and centre. All of this goes in season 3's favour. This season was also much more self-aware and enjoyable than season 2. The only issue, of course, with making these changes in season 3 was that there was a distinct lack of continuation from season 2. But it's not possible to have it both ways. And I felt like Elena made the right choice, even if that meant sacrificing continuity. Personally speaking, I think season 3 is probably a close second to season 1 in terms of my own enjoyment. So there we go. go. The highlight of Dickinson has undoubtedly been the chemistry between Hayley and Ella as Emily and Sue, which was just really captivating to watch. These two work so well against one another, and it's a shame that they weren't utilised more. But I'm grateful for what they've given us and the work that they put into making Emily and Sue fleshed out characters and portraying such a complex and chemistry-fueled relationship. Overall, I think there were more positive aspects of Dickinson than there were negative, and it delivered its message in a fresh, experimental way that can be revisited time and time again. Okay guys, if you've watched Dickinson, let me know your own thoughts down in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe for instant disappointment, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!